So, hi all, and a warm welcome to all of you on the special event where we are completing the HTML, CSS complete. So, this is actually a special day where we are covering the entire things once in a while, and you all will love it. So, let us wait for some time for other people to 1 second join. 1 second. So, yeah, hi, hello all. So, 1 second. So let me have the structure ready. 1 second. So today we are actually going to cover the HTML, CSS. So this is actually a very good workshop for you people to revise this thing. And actually, those who don't know what is HTML, what is CSS, so they will get to have the complete idea of this thing. So 1 second. राजेश आर यू हेयर? अरे महादेव गामा जी, कहाँ पूछ रहे हो यार? ओके, सो 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. Okay, so there will be a total of 2 attendance. Okay, so there will be a total of 2 attendance. First will be shared, I guess, around 5 p.m. and second will be shared around 7 p.m. Okay, so that is how you are going to get the things, and you will get the participation certificate those who complete all the attendance form. So the participation certificate will be sent on your mail ID, I guess by tomorrow end of the day, and also once it will be sent, you all will be notified. So that is how things are going to happen. So let us start with HTML. So what is a HTML? So HTML is basically a hypertext markup language, and it is used to design the building block. So HTML is basically the main building block of the web page. And for you to start with HTML, so you need only two things: a VS Code and a browser. So Google Chrome is our by default browser, and we are actually referring this one only. And as far as means our VS Code is concerned, so we will be using VS Code as our code editor, as because it is a light code editor, and if you can search as VS Code download and Google Chrome to download it. So this is how it looks like. And 1 second, so this is how it looks like. And so based on your system configuration, you can very well download it. Okay, so that is how it goes like that. So if you are using Windows, if you are using Mac, if you are using this, if you are using that, so based on your system configuration, you can download that. So once you download it, okay, so 1 second. So once you download it, it will be look like that. Okay. Now you will get an icon of you will get an icon like this. This is the icon which will be available on your desktop. So once you click on it, you will get the VS Code. Okay, so hardly it will take I guess less than a minute to install. and it is actually a very light code editor. So not very much system requirement is required here. So it is a very light code editor. Uh, so it is very helpful for you. Now let us write our first file here. So we create a folder with the name of HTML5 and we simply drag and drop in the VS Code. Okay. Now see what happens. So our folder is here and we will be creating the first file as index.html. Okay. So this is the first file, which is the index.html. Now here we use the emit function, means shift and 1. So it will come like that. So here we write the title as HTML. Okay. So it comes, the output will be like that. Now here, this is basically the HTML version 5 and this doc type HTML represents that we are working on the HTML version 5. Now after that we have the HTML tag. Okay, we have the HTML tag. Now in this HTML tag contains the head and the body tag. Okay, so the head tag have the language EN. EN means English. Okay, so country to country, this the value of lang gets changed. And after that, we have the next tag, which is called as the head tag. So the head tag contains the meta tag. Okay. So earlier, this meta tag is being used by the digital marketers to promote their content when you search this thing on the Google search engine. But because of the delay in the search, it gets stopped. So after that, we have the title tag. The title tag contains the title of the page. So here is here the title of the page will be HTML. Now here, so this is the output of our page. Okay. So you see here, this is the HTML. So this title, what we have written here, is coming here. Now after this thing, we have the next tag, which is called as the body tag. So whatsoever we are writing here, okay. So whatsoever we are writing here, we will write in the body tag. Now here, if you see, so this is the body tag, and everything will be covered inside the HTML tag. Okay. So let us start with the first tag in the HTML, which is called as the header tag. So the header tag starts with H, and the value of header starts from 1 to 6. Okay. So H1. So the content we write here is let's say the days of the week. Okay. So I need to refresh it. Okay. Now here, this is the start tag. This is the end tag. Start tag and end tag are almost similar, but here this slash differentiates between the start tag and the end tag. Okay, so that is how it goes like that. Now after this thing, we have the next value in the header tag will be h2. So I can use a h2 as h3, 4, 5, h6, from 1 to 6, these are the values of header tag. Okay. So there we need to refresh it for the data to second. Okay, so you see here H1 has the highest font size compared to H2, H2, H3, H4, H5. So it goes the descending order. Okay. Now here if you see, one second, so this is what the header tag is. Now after the header tag, here we have the next tag which is called as the paragraph tag. So we have the content as dummy content which is called as a lorem. So for anyone, it is not possible every time to just write it, save it, and refresh it. Okay. So there is an extension. There's an extension which is called as a live server. Okay. So the extension with the owner Ritvik Day. Okay. So you need to use this owner Ritvik Day and you need to install it. So once you install this live server extension, okay, what will happen? One second. So let me close this thing and I can do with the. So this is here. So now see, if I comment out this thing, as soon as I saved it, automatically it gets refreshed here. That is the beauty of the live server extension. Okay. Now after this thing, we have the next tag which is called as the anchor tag. So in the anchor tag, we use a and it contains a href, a path, and the content. So let us use the path as we use splash.com, and in the content we have the data as unsplash. So once I click it, what will happen? My current tab will get closed and I will be redirected to the new page. So the my current tab is not here currently. You see here, only two tabs are there. So for this thing, what I do here, I use a property which is called as target equals to underscore blank. Now once when I click it here, what will happen? See, my current tab remains open and I will be redirected to a new tab. So that is how this thing goes live. Now after this anchor tag, we have the next thing which is called as the UL and OL. UL means unordered list and OL means ordered list. So for the OL and UL, so the list tag will be inside this. So we have LI into 6 into 6. So now see the output. What is output? So here the ordered list. So this is the ordered list. So ordered list will come the output as in a sequence of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the unordered list uses the sequence in a bullet form. Okay. So this is the difference between ordered list and unordered list. Fine. Now after this thing, what will happen here? the ordered list. Yes, the ordered list, ordered. As the name says, ordered means it will be in order. So the order sequence will be here from 1 to, it starts from 1. Now, in the unordered list, the also it will have the bullets here. Okay, so it will have the bullets here. So let us have the content here. We'll have the content in the name of colors, the red. So this is the output of the ordered list and the unordered list. So the ordered list will have the output in the sequence which starts from 1 to, which starts from 1 actually, and the unordered list have the output in a different pattern, which have the output in the form of bullet pattern. Okay, now so after this thing, we see the next thing here, which is called as the mm, form tag. Okay, so we have the tag which is called as the form tag. So we have form. So the form tag contains two things: a input and the label. So we have the input and a label. We'll have the label in the first, and the label will be for, let's say, name. Input will be the text. Okay. So mm, name will be for name. Now here, if you see here, if I copy it and paste it. Okay. So what will happen here? If I have the next thing which is called as a age. So the input type will be number, and here name will be age. So this is how it goes like that. Now if you see, if I want to put this thing in below the name, so I use div, and in this div I move this thing. So it goes like that. So when you use a div, it will come in a block form, block in a block pattern. Block means one above or one below the other. Okay. Now after this thing, we have the next thing in the form which is called as the email. We have the input type email. Uh, Input type email. Okay. So hmm. So this is the input type email. Okay. So now see how it is coming. So first one is the input type label. Okay. The input type will be text, and the name contains the name here. After that, we have the input type as age. The name as age. The input type will be number, and after that we have again the label as email, and the input type will be email here. Okay. So now after that, what we see here, we have the next form which is called as the Okay, so we see the next kind of form which have the check boxes and option pattern. So we have the label for what do you carry with you. Okay. So next we have the item here is the label. After that we have the select, and here we have the option. So the option will be for in what do you carry with you. So I carry mobile. Next is next option will be for purse. Third option will be ID card. Okay, so I carry. Okay. Now next we have the label for what do you have in what do you have in your house. Okay. So we have the next thing. So we have the next thing here, which is called as the input type. Input type checkbox. Okay. In the name will be here for what do you have in your house. So the name will be here for, let's say, house one. Okay. And we have the next thing which is called as a label. Label will be for first thing I can say car. If I put this thing inside a div. So label it for car and 1 second. Because here I can select all. Okay. Or I can select any two. So that is the advantage of input type checkbox. Now here, if I want to have a form with a div for gender. So the label will be for gender. And after that we have the uh, input type radio, and the name will be for gender. And after that we have again we need to have label. So the label will be for male, and again the info. 1 second. Input type, I again use radio here. Name will be for gender, and here the label will be for email, and the input type radio for gender, and again a label for so here now here I can select any of the ones. So that is how this is all about the HTML form tag. Now after this, if we want to insert image here, okay. So if we want to insert image here, we can have the next thing which is called as a image tag. So for the image tag, we can download image from unsplash.com. Oh, sorry. So this is the image what we've downloaded. And we will create a folder here with the name images. And so downloads. Second. Okay, so we will import here the image. So this is the output of the image there. Okay. Now here this alt function is very important. So if I don't mention alt here and by sub mistake for any reason the internet goes down and my complete browser does not get load here. So let me change the name, and here if I use the alt as signed, so you can see a signed kind of the thing is coming here. So that will show us that um, that this is the place where we have added a image which is of a alt name sand. So when suppose there are uh, hundreds and thousands of images in a website, and by default the website does not loads properly. So what will happen? This alt will help you to trace currently at what particular place the problem is coming. So for this reason we are doing this. So if I proceed. Now, when the image is coming properly, okay, when the image is coming properly, it will not show the alt tag. But when image is not coming properly, it will show the alt function. So that is how it goes or it works like that. Now, after this thing, uh, we have seen by here the header tag, the paragraph tag, the form tag, different kinds of form tag we have checked, and ordered list, unordered list, and one more thing. So here we have a property which is called as BR. Whenever I put BR here, mm, so you see the gap here. So this is called as a BR. BR means break row. And BR here is called as a self-closing tag. Self-closing tag means it does not have a start tag and it does not have a end tag. So that is how this BR tag goes like that. Now here, after that, if we see here, we have the next tag which is called as the HR, horizontal rule. So here this line will come here. This is what about the horizontal rule. And this HR is also a self-closing tag. Self-closing tag means it does not have a end tag. Okay. Okay. So here, if we see here, we have the start tag, end tag, UL, OL, form tag, and the image tag. So that is what is all required in the HTML. So for this thing, we have a web page which is called as a W3 school. Okay. So W3 school is a web page which is managed by the W3 school team, and here you can have the complete reference available. Reference available means this is what so far we have learned till now is essential for you to know in HTML. But there are so many n number of things which are available here. So just go through them one by one, and everything is available in the W3. So if you want to take the reference of anything, okay, so it is not possible for a human brain to keep everything in his mind. So anyways you need to take the reference. So for reference particularly, okay, you can have the you can have the point where you need to refer something. So this is what the page is. So here the W3 school web page where you can see here the HTML home introduction. Okay, what is HTML examples, and we have the HTML editors. Okay, so we are using basically the VS Code editor. Okay, after that we have the HTML basics. We have HTML elements, attributes, headings, and this is paragraph type. Okay, so that is how it goes like that. After we have HTML CSS. So CSS we will see HTML links. So hyperlinks is a link tag which is anchor tag. And again after that we have the list which is called as the HTML images. So images are nothing but the image tags what we have used here. So that is how you can take the reference of anything what you are looking in, what you are looking in HTML. Okay. So okay, so now let us switch to CSS. So what is CSS? CSS is basically cascaded style sheet. and it is used to make the website decorative, attractive. Fine. Now here in CSS, CSS is again is managed by WT School. Okay. So for the CSS, let me have 1 second. In CSS, there are three ways in which we can add CSS. The first one is inline. Second is internal. Third is external. So first one is inline. So inline means in the same line. In the same line means we apply CSS directly to the HTML element. Okay. So directly to the HTML element means once again Control A, Control Shift P, format selection, and everything gets right. Okay. So here inline means in the same line. In the same line means we apply CSS directly to the HTML element. Okay. Directly to the HTML element means to directly to H1, to paragraph, to UL, to LI. So anything we can have this thing there. No. How we are going to apply it? So we have the style tag with the of the background color of, let's say, aqua. So here directly we applied CSS to the HTML element, which is called as a H1. Okay. Now after this thing, we have the next thing which is called as the H2. Okay. So for H2, we have included the internal CSS. So the internal CSS have the internal CSS we can apply the internal CSS here in the head tag. So we use the style H2 a background color property using a hash #F00AA. So a pink type of color is coming. So here how it is working. So in the internal type of CSS, okay. So in the internal type of CSS, internal type of CSS, we apply CSS directly to the HTML file. Okay. So this is HTML file and we apply CSS directly to the HTML file. Okay. So here this is how it gets applied. Now after this, the third one. So third one is the external. So external means externally we apply CSS to the HTML file. So here externally means externally we write the code and we apply here. So in the external, we 1 minute. In the external, we create a file with the name of file.css, and this is the CSS file. Okay. And here in this we apply for H3 the background file in the form of RGB with the value of red, let's say 0, green 100, blue 255. Okay. Now we need to use a link tag because link tag will link both the HTML and CSS. So that is how it goes like that. Okay. So here there are three ways in which we can have the CSS. So the first one is inline, second one is internal, and the third one is external. Okay. So inline applies directly to the HTML element. Okay. Internal applies directly to the HTML file, and external we apply directly to the HTML file but in a external manner. Okay. So these are the three ways in which we can add CSS. Now here let us see CSS selector. So here H3 is the CSS selector. CSS selector. This thing declaration property value. So that is the calculation. Now this background color is the property. This is the value. This entire thing is the declaration. So that is how it goes like that. Okay. Now after this thing, we see the next thing here. Okay, so let me have a paragraph here. So in this paragraph, let us have some basic font property. So I use a font size of let's say 20 px, a font weight of let's say bold, a letter spacing of let's say 20 px, word spacing of again let's say 15 px, and after that we have the text transform to uppercase, and we use the text decoration to underline. So these are some basic font properties. One more line height. Now here try to understand what is the meaning of all these properties. Font size. Font size, you all know what is font size. Font size means the height of the font. So we have taken a value of font size which is in px. So px is the unit of measurement of font size. After that, we have the next which is called the font weight. So font weight means we have taken the value as bold. After that, we have the letter spacing. Letter spacing means spacing between the letters. And after that, we have word spacing. Word spacing means spacing between the words. After that, we have the text transform to uppercase, means everything will gets converted to capital letters. After that, we have the text decoration to underline. That means everything will be in an underlined fashion. And next is all about the line height. Line height means spacing between the lines, or I can say the gaps between the lines. So these are some basic font. Now after that, we have the next property which is called as the font family. Now here by default, minimum of 3 available fonts are here. So these 3 fonts represents show us that here the Arial is the primary font, okay, Helvetica and Sans Serif are the secondary font. Okay. So here if you see what are primary and what are secondary fonts. So for example, if there is a scenario that Google Chrome does not support the Arial font, so it will automatically pick up the next available font, which is the Helvetica font. And let's say, suppose Google, Microsoft Edge does not support Arial and Helvetica font, so it will automatically pick up the next available font, which is the sans serif font. Okay. So that is how it goes like that. Now, after that, we have the next thing which is called as the Google Fonts. Okay. So as you know, Google are now into our each and every part of our life. So Google have their own fonts also. So for this thing, we need to have the Google Fonts. So for Google Fonts, we just need to check the available Google Fonts here. So we have okay. So these are the Google Fonts. So this is a LoRa font which we are going to pick it. Already we have some fonts. So let us remove them first. 1 second. Okay. So this is the LoRa font. Okay. So here let us pick up this one and we are going to import this thing here. So Control C and we use here we use LORA. LoRa and now see how the content. Okay. So if I remove all these properties, see how beautifully the content look like. And let me change this to so this is how it looks like that. Okay. So that is the beauty of Google Fonts. Now after this thing, let me have a another paragraph here. Okay. So for this thing, log of 10. Okay. So we have a paragraph tag with a lorem of 10. Now, now, see what is happening here. The set of styles, what we have given to the first paragraph, okay, the set of styles, what we have given to the first paragraph gets replicated to the second one also. Okay. So that is again a not that is again uh, that is again not a good thing here because for this particular set of paragraph for this particular set of paragraphs, okay, we have this set of style. This is a set of style. But what is happening here? This particular paragraph is also taking up the set of style. So for this thing, we need to bifurcate the set of styles what we have given to the first one and what we will be giving to the second one. So for this thing, classes and IDs have introduced. So we have classes and IDs now. Okay. So what are classes and what are IDs? So classes. Let me have a class here. Class top will have ID here bottom. Okay. So now what are classes and what are IDs? So classes and IDs both are used to target the HTML element. Okay. Classes and IDs both are used to target HTML element. Same class can be used multiple times. Okay, this class top I can use as much as I wish to, but ID can only be used one time. Okay, and dot is used to highlight the class, and hash is used to highlight the ID. Okay, okay. So let us take a break of 10 minutes, then we will resume back. Okay. Okay, so let us carry on from here. So we are on classes and IDs. So we have classes and IDs. So classes and IDs both are used to target the HTML element, and dot is used to highlight the class. Hash is used to highlight the ID. So here, let us apply this one here. So we have dot top. Now this dot top is for the first one, and for the second one, let me have the structure. We use hash VOTTOM hash bottom, and we'll use a font size of, let's say, 30p. So this is how you can differentiate. Okay, so one more thing, attendance form is shared for the real reference. So 1 second. So, so attendance form is there for reference. So you all are requested to please fill it and confirm me back with the in the comment section. I hope everybody have filled it. So someone please confirm that they have filled it or not. Okay, okay, Abhi, thanks, thanks. So let us continue from here. Okay, so this is how we are going to use the class, and we are going to use the ID. Now, here one thing to notice, that in this class and this ID, this class p.top I can use multiple times, but this ID hash bottom I can only use one time. Now after this thing, we will switch on to the next topic, which is called as the box model. So for the box model, we have to have a structure, which contains the content. After this, we have a padding of, let's say, 20 px. After the padding, we have a border property of, let's say, 4 px, solid with black color, and a margin of, let's say, 10 p. So this is all about the box model. So box model property. So let me do one thing. So a box model property contains of 4 things. First one, the content. After the content, we have the padding. After padding, we have the border, and after border, we have the margin. So padding. Padding is for internal space. Okay. Border is for external. Border is for the border property. Okay. After border, we have the margin. Margin is for the external space. Okay. So now let us see how this is going to happen. So when I'm using the padding of, let's say, 20 px. Padding 20 px means 20 px here, 20 px here, 20 px here, and 20 px here. Means 20 px on all the 4 sides. Okay. Border 4 px. So the width of the border is 4 px. Solid line and black color. So again, it is on all the 4 sides. After that, we have margin. Okay. Margin. So margin is 10 px. 10 px again on all the 4 sides, and it is outside the margin. So the margin is for external space. Okay. So that is how it goes like that. Now, after this thing, we have to have the ways in which we can have the padding, and we can add padding and margin. So let me comment out this. So if I use padding in the left of, let's say, so that is how it goes like that. So padding in the left for different directions, we have different padding. Okay. So if we have padding in the left of, let's say, 10 px, 19 px, sorry. So left side 19 px, top 20 px, bottom 30 px, and right, let's say, 40 px. So for different sides, we have the different padding. Now after this, we have so if I use padding of, let's say, 20 px and 40 px. So 20 px is for top bottom, 40 px will be for left and right. Okay. So this is again a calculation which works like that. Now after, if we have for margin top, let's say 40 px, left 30 px, bottom 20 px, right, and similarly I can have margin for, let's say, 40 px and 20 px. Okay. So here for different direction, we have different margin, and suppose if I have written margin of 40 px and 20 px, so 40 px will be for left and for top and bottom, and 20 px will be for left and right. Okay. So that is the basic calculation which you need to understand before applying padding and margin. Fine. Now after this thing, we are going to create a list and we will style it. This is the structure what we have created. Let me comment out this thing. So we have a div h2 ul, and this ul contains li anchor tag. Okay, so this is a structure and we are going to style it. Okay, so for this thing, let me have the classes. Let's say one, and here I have the hash functionality here. So it will not go anywhere when we click it. Click here. Okay. Now I have the content here. Let me have the one, chapter 2, chapter 3, oh, chapter 5. Okay, so this is the structure what we have created. So these are the index and we are going to style it with the help of CSS. So one second. Okay. So we are going to style it with the help of CSS. Now, here if you see, this is here, this parent div have the parent class as top one. Okay. Now after this parent class top one, we have the index as the content for header 2, and after that we have the ul contains the li and li have the anchor tag, and the anchor tag have the content as chapter 1 to chapter 6 here. Okay, so that is how it goes, like that. Okay, so now let us see how we are going to style it. So for this thing, we will pick up each and every element and we are going to style it. So we have the first thing is called as a div h2 ul li a. Okay, so let us pick up the first thing which is called as the top one dot. We'll use text transform to uppercase. After that, we can have a border property of, let's say, 4p. Colored with black color. A border radius property we can take of, let's say, 10p x to make the edges sharpen, to make the edges curved fat in a curved manner. And after that, we can have the next thing. So we have got one and h2 line center, and we have already imported a font which is called as the Laura. So we will have the font family. So, oh, 1 second. So it looks beautiful. And okay, so after that we will go to other dot page. Dot top will target the unordered list with a padding of 0 and let's the style to none. So this quarter will get removed. And after that, we will target this anchor tag, and this anchor tag we have the text decoration to none with the color of the font will change this to black. And we have some okay. So let us apply this on Li, and we have some margin in the bottom of, let's say, let me make it to 20 px, and some margin margin from the left of, let's say, 10 px looks good. And a border bottom property we will include a 1 px dotted with blue color. Okay, so that looks really nice. Okay. So let us apply a pseudo class property, which is a hover property. We apply this on to the anchor tag. We'll change the background color to pink. Oh, okay. So it is applying. So we have to apply the hover property. So as soon as I hover my mouse, okay. So as soon as I hover my mouse, what will happen? As soon as I hover my mouse, the background color, see, the background color here getting changed to the pink one. Okay, so that is how it goes, like that. Now after this thing, uh let us create a form and we will try to style it. So for this particular thing, we will be having a form first. We need to create a form first. So this is not required. The form tag we will use, and we have a div label input. So this is a structure and we are going to replicate it. So we'll have a div with a class as form dp. Label will be for, let's say, name. Name will be for name. So this is the structure and we are going to replicate this thing. Okay. Where we have the label for age. Input type will be age. Email input type will be email. And name will be for age. So this is a structure. This is a structure. The code will be shared in the GitHub, and the GitHub link will be shared in the description box, my dear friend. The class will be, let's say, my form. Okay. So this, okay, so we will have the submit button also. So I have input submit, and the value will be. So this is the form what we have created, and now we are going to style this. Okay. So we have the form with the class in my form, form GP input type lane. Okay. So this is the structure what we have created. Now we are going to style it. So here, 1 second. Got form GP, and we'll have something which is called as font family to LoRa, so that it looks nice. And after that, we can have the next thing here, which is called as the okay. So we apply on 1 second. Form GP. Form GP. अच्छा ऐसा okay ठीक है. So here we will target dot form GP, and we will target the input display of block, and it will align in this fashion. And this input, let me give the width to, let's say, 100 px, and if I use underscore print, 100% is look 33.30%. Okay. And here we'll have some margins from the top of, let's say, 20 px. Margin top does not look good. So we have some margin at bottom. Okay, that looks nice. And here input we use some adding of, let's say, 20 px. 20 is on a higher side. Okay. And a border radius property br of, let's say, 10 px. And this form GP will have a font size of, let's say, 20 px. Okay. So that is how this form looks like. Okay. Now after